Thank you and good morning, everyone. It's Cecily here from Utulivu Women's Group. And if we can start sharing it's Utulivu Women's Group. And you may be wondering what Utulivu means. Next slide, please. Utulivu really is a Swahili word, which is a language spoken in the eastern part of Africa, meaning patience. And this is really the story of being the change we seek. It's about empowering women and girls to be that change that they seek out of bitter experiences. And it's based on the principles that when you're going through difficult times, being aloof or being apathetic and being complacent is not the answer. But the answer is considering to be that change for the sake of generations to come, but most importantly for your own sake. So we have been going for the last 20 years. We'll be celebrating 20 years this July. And it has been that journey with a lot of patience. We believe that if nothing changes, nothing will change. Or rather, if you change nothing, nothing is going to change. So it's about being there and considering doing that which you think is important. And it takes a lot of patience, a lot of frustrations, but also a lot of hope. I like what our last speaker, the keynote speaker, ended with, that hope is not something you find, but something that you create. And it is on those principles that Utulivu is founded on. However, we know that confidence undermines that need to change. And therefore, over the years, we have learned to invest in ourselves and also with investing in the team in order to effectively bring that change on. Our color theme is green. You can see I'm wearing green, but we also have a green plant growing there. And that is a metaphor of how we have grown over the years. We also know that the caterpillars we see in our gardens do not start as they are. They go through a metamorphosis, that change. And for us, that has been the change. And therefore, we talk of surviving, moving from survival to thriving. Next slide, please. So as you can see, it's a big jump, from a stage of surviving to a stage of thriving. And what that means for Utulivu is that we spent years being supported, and we are still supported by our local voluntary action and the local authority. And what that local funding helped us do is to grow in confidence and in network, something that we would not have done if we never thrived, or if we never accessed the little funding that they offered. Until this one time, I'm talking about 7 years ago, we stumbled into Rosa funding. And as simple as their logo looks like, we were attracted by their simple vision, which was workable, and most importantly, which aligned with what we had always worked for, we continue to work with. And what we did was that we braved it and seized the moment by linking up with our local voluntary action to support us, put that bid together. And within a few weeks, we got the answer that we got through that funding. It was not a lot of funding, but actually it gave us a lot of confidence and hope that we can have more because people trust us in what we do. So that small pot of funding helped us to grow and thrive. And that was the start of looking for funding outside our local authority. And during COVID, we got funding, the bigger funding from Rosa again, and that helped us build our infrastructure. And then out of that infrastructure, we were able to get funding from the Rotary Fund for 3 years. And on top of that, we got awards for all. So all that was because we put the infrastructure together. We helped our trustees grow in confidence. And then we got 4 employees, something that we had not thought about. So the funding from Rosa did not only help us grow, but also it helped us be spotted by other funders. As we speak, we are getting funding not only from our local authority, but also funders that we had approached before and we were not successful with. Besides that, we have had notable growth on the women and the girls that we support. Women who have started or gone on into businesses, especially catering business, which is always culturally tailored, meeting the real needs of the women. We also have women who have written books. So out of this work that we would have undertaken, we have others. People have realized their dreams. And we have 3 women who have finished their doctorate programs in the academic world. But all that is based on the health and well-being of our women because of the trauma, most of which they went through growing up, are actually wanting to change those narratives by engaging with what we have considered or we considered 20 years ago. And that is the story of our surviving to thriving. We are at the stage now where we are thriving, and we hope to continue working with our local authorities and also our local voluntary action, but looking beyond to connecting with the bigger funders so that we can go even further in the support of our women and girls. One important project that we focus on is on female genital mutilation. You know, the trauma that came with that. We have begun to see women come out of it and then gone on to start their own small self-help groups in order to overcome those traumas, but crucially connecting with the mainstream health services and especially mental health services. Next, please. And this is, for me, really is about the call to action. And this is based on the fact that together we can be that change. And we can only be that change if we grow in confidence. And that confidence, because it is contagious, it will help other women and girls, but also other, not as individuals, but as groups to grow. We also know that one problem solved makes other problems solved more easily. Because when you may help women step into a position of power, that of influence, and doing that which they see becomes much easier with that support or that achievement that they have made. And so let's connect, let's empower each other, and let's collaborate if we are to be the change that we seek. And lastly, the last slide, please. What I can say is thank you, but also to ask you to be patient in being that change that you make. So let's connect with love, courage, and patience. So thank you, Rosa, and so many other funders who have been attracted by the work Utulivu women have continued to do, which has been the basis of what we sought to do 20 years ago. So thank you.